get through stuff. Seems like I spend more time talking than I do practicing the last 2.5 weeks, but we got some experienced guys who've been through some things here, and we got to learn how to get off the mat one more time. In Nebraska, I said they were the hottest team, won 4 out of 5, and Nebraska has been playing the best basketball in probably Fred's era there. Being senior day, they got some seniors that have been through a lot. It'll be a challenge for us on a special day for them. They had a couple injuries and they've adjusted and come out on the stronger end. Tom Tominga has been phenomenal. He's making shots from all over. He's constant movement. The kid Walker is a very, very good player, one of the better big men in our league, just in a different way. He doesn't just score in the post. He does stuff off the dribble. He scores that way a little bit more. And he leads them in assists at over 4 a game, which is a lot, especially for a center. The other kid, the Gristle kid they have at 6'7", presents some problems as a huge point guard, 6'7", and well built. So they have 3 guys that could play anywhere. Their role players are also been very good. So I'd say in general, we get a chance to see if we can get off the mat against a quality team that we beat early in the year, but it's a completely different team, not only because they're missing 2 guys that were there, but they added 2 offensive guys, and they're much better offensively. And it's interesting because Sam, Fred's son, has been playing, and he's just done a phenomenal job for him. It's amazing. There was times we were talking about helping him get to a Division II school, and he's become not only a player, but a key player, and credit goes to him. So questions, I'll take them.
I wondered, over the last 3 games, you guys have upticked the scoring and gotten a little more offensive consistency. The shooting's been there since that Rutgers game. What's changed maybe on the offensive side to allow that? Is it just the health factor for some of those guys?
Well, it does help. Malik has had a couple of good games in the middle, and then playing together, practicing a little bit more together, I think has been a factor. Tyson's been on a rampage. AJ has done a very good job of maybe not taking as many shots, but getting more people involved, getting downhill a little bit more, getting some openings there. Joey and Tyson have been on a pretty good 5, 6, 7, 8 game stretch. But I'd say that the ball movement has been better. Break's been a little better, not what I'd like it to be. And we're getting guys clean shots, and we got enough shooters if we get them clean shots. Now, what sometimes happens, then your offense improves and your defense kind of, and I wouldn't say our defense has gone to hell, but I wouldn't say it's where it was. And so we had some time we spent yesterday both on our offense and our defense, but our defense from the standpoint of finishing the job by rebounding the ball. And I think that's ball movement, penetration, and very unselfish play has been, I think, one of the factors.
It'd be a difficult film watch yesterday when you talk about bouncing off the mat. How big of a challenge is that now, given the nature of that game? Not for you, but for your players.
Yeah, I didn't watch 1 second of film on that game yesterday, to be honest with you. I watched a little bit on the plane with a couple guys and pointed out some things, and that's the advantage, disadvantage of 1 or 2 day preps. You got to practice yesterday, you got to move on, especially for a team we hadn't played since the beginning of the year. It's almost like a new prep because they got new players. They played differently than they played early. We talked. We had a meeting and talk about it, and I said, I'm not going to show you. If time comes, you don't start trusting what we say, then this is a waste of time anyway. So, very disappointed because it's probably as good as we played since Cassius has been here. And in a lot of ways too, even defensively, against a very good offensive team. But not finishing it, as I said, the coach has to take responsibility when you have a 12, 13 point lead with 1.5 minutes left. And I did. And so I worked on the things I thought we did, free throw cutouts for some, press breaker a little bit, some other things that we worked on. But we didn't watch 1 second of film on Michigan State and Iowa, so that kept the stress meter down a little bit.
Tyson's ability to create his own shot seems like he's taken another level. How much better has he gotten in the last 4 or 5 weeks?
Well, Ty came in yesterday just to sit down and talk with me before practice started. The second time we got together yesterday, and he says, I feel like I've gotten so much better in so many different ways since I came. And that was kind of a much needed statement from a player to a coach instead of always it being from a coach to a player. I think he has improved in a lot of areas. His toughness, he's a tough kid. He's playing a lot of minutes. Defensively, he's always been good. Now he's putting the two together where we put him on the best player and yet we try to get him shots and shot clock. We have a guy now we can go to then get a shot, as you say. I just think he's improved enormously in a year and a half, I guess, and couldn't come at a better time. And he's been so much fun to coach. I mean, he just doesn't make many mistakes, and when he does, he takes blame, and we move on.
You're talking about guys on Saturday at the end looking like they were kind of in quicksand, and I know you were happy with the rotation before that. Maybe you can kind of go through look at why that ended up happening.
Why we looked like we were in quicksand at the end. I don't. Joey might have been a little fatigued, but I thought other than that, we made a couple plays, guys. They were mental mistakes more than physical mistakes. We weren't supposed to double down. We weren't giving up a 2. We were letting them get a 2 to get a 3, and 3 times we made some mistakes there, and that's just the way it went. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sure it's been grueling physically. It's been grueling mentally the last couple of weeks. But I don't think that had anything to do with the fact that just kind of lost our minds there for a stretch. And if you watch the film, which I did on the plane, they hit 3 of the 5 were hellacious threes. They hadn't done anything before that, and so it happens. It happens. It's unexcusable. It's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for our fans. But if we play as good as we played against Iowa, and we correct the last minute and a half, this team's going to do what I said they're going to do, and we'll make a run.
And I'm wondering, seeing that game, but the others around the league this weekend, home court obviously it's such a factor. I mean, you feel like it's maybe more this year than others, and maybe having any ideas why?
Yeah, because I think people are mentally softer than they used to be. I really do. I look back though, and one thing I showed my team yesterday morning, we had a little meeting, was, we had that stretch we came back from Portland, and that still had a lot of damage to do. So there's nobody that deserves more blame for that than the head coach and his schedule. But we came back that Notre Dame game, then 3 days later, we played Northwestern, and I'm watching the film, and I went back, what are we doing at the end? And I'm watching the film in Northwestern, and with 28 seconds or 30 seconds left, we're down 1. Boo-Boo, he makes an unbelievable dipsy-do shot. Game I think we could have won. And then Purdue was a week later, and we led until the last 3 seconds. We were up 5 with 2 minutes left, and I think we should have won that game, to be honest with you. And then the other game, I think I could play the same scenario 9,999 times to 1, and I think we win it. You ever think if we won those 3 games, you look at analytics, you look at the net, you look at all this stuff. If you win those 3 games, we're in first place. Now you can say, well, there's probably games you could have lost. I don't think so. I think that we're that close, and somehow I'm going to live with that. Now at the end of the year, some years you never get there, but that close. And instead of 8 losses in the league, we got 5. And Northwestern and Purdue each have another one. That's how close and delicate it is. And so I try to sell that to my team to say, hey, you know what, don't listen to Twitter, don't listen to people, don't listen to this, listen to that, look in the mirror and see what you did wrong, let's fix it, because we're not that far off. I think we're even closer when I looked at that myself. I showed them the film of those last seconds. I guess that's the only film I showed on the big screen when we were practicing. This is what we did in those 3 games. That would be the difference. That's pretty awesome considering the injuries we've been through and the situation we've been in. So a guy that usually looks at the cup half empty, looked at it half full yesterday, liked what I saw. Whether we do something about it, we'll find out.
Time for 1 or 2 more, Roger.
It's hard to believe this is the last week of the regular season, but
It is.
what would you like to see in these last 2 games that you feel would set you up to make a run as you'd like to do
Yeah.
in March?
I'd like to see 2 wins. You know, that's for sure. I'd like to see us get back to guarding and running the offense that I think we can. I'd like to see Malik keep taking strides forward, and I looked at the last 5 games. We have a 5-game stat. In those 5 games, we're shooting 48-7. We're shooting 38 or 9 from the 3. We're shooting 87 from the free throw line. We're not rebounding quite as good. Our turnovers are down to 10.5. Not bad. A lot of good things. The problem is it's a damn good league. People aren't used to this. Like, nobody would be used to going to, a couple coaches in the league called me and said, good luck. I mean, they're playing good, and those of you who have ever been there, it's maybe as crazy a crowd as you could get for a team that's been not very good over the years. The crowd has been unbelievable every year. So I'd like to see us rebound a little better. I'd like to see us take care of the ball, you know, a little bit more consistency. We've had some really good games, 7-8 turnovers. We've had a 13 and a 15. And I'd like us to get back to maybe defending for 40 minutes instead of 38. Now, the shot at Michigan, I'm not sure you're gonna defend it much better than Tyson. He's made a shot. You know, a couple of shots there, made a shot. That's gonna happen. And you put on your big boy pants and realize it's gonna happen. But at the same time, I really look at this team. I don't think we're the best, most talented team I had. I don't think they're the best team we had. But we're that far from being playing for a championship, much less other things. And, you know, some of those years, I mean, Purdue early, Nebraska had them in overtime. Ohio State had them, you know. Sometimes you win those games, that's how you win a championship. Sometimes you lose them, that's how you don't win a championship. But whether the team's good enough, and this analytic BS that I see all the time, that because a hook shot went in at the end, you're 60 on the net. If it goes in, you're a 20 on the net. You know, I struggle with that. So, and that's what goes around, and that's what permeates these kids' heads. So yesterday I did my own little analyzing and my own little bracketology and my own little conference stats, and I came up with this team has been damn good. We lost 1 game where we got our butts blown out. That was at Purdue. Other than that, we've been right in every game with a lot of things that we've had to go through with injuries and that. And I feel the same way I felt this summer. I felt this fall. I felt halfway through the year, and I told you 2 weeks ago. We're good enough to play anybody in the league, anybody maybe in the country. And yet we proved where you don't have a great margin for error. Mistakes for us get compounded because we don't have dominant talent, maybe. We gotta live with that. We gotta coach better, play a little better, and then we'll make one of those patented runs that we're used to around here.
Tom, I apologize if you covered this in Iowa, but I assume this week is what it is in terms of the Minnesota game, or is that still a possibility?
Yeah, you know, I thought it was already gonna be released, so I will release it. I thought I already did once, but the Big Ten office, I think, said they were gonna
They're
do
sending
it
something out today.
today, you know. I've been disappointed in the way it's been handled at the Big Ten office, but I would like to publicly state, because I saw, I didn't see it, because I wouldn't look at that crap on that social media stuff, but my assistants, where Steve Pico was getting some, you know, I don't think they did a good job with anybody. Pikeville had a play last night at 6:30. One of the things was to move that game up. There was not a lot of options. So do not blame him. Maybe I blame the Big Ten office on what I got. I did not think that it was very aggressively handled early. And as I look back, it might have been one of those things because of TV, because of all the stuff. There's just nothing that could be done. It's too bad. I know this. I know Ben wanted to do everything he could do to play it. And I do think Steve would have helped in any way he could. It just didn't work out. So a couple of years ago, it didn't work out for us because we played all the games. This year, it didn't work out because we didn't play. But just another good thorn in my side to motivate me to work harder.
So it just won't be played.
Won't be played.
This might be for the Big Ten then, but how will that affect the standings and the double? Is that all okay?
You know what? Let the Big Ten office, they seem to be good at handling things, let them handle this. Because I have no idea what that does to, it used to be the first, tiebreaker was competition against each other. Then it was whether you, who you played in the top. If somebody beat Purdue and you didn't, they got something over you. Now, because of the number of games, or won't be even, we'll be the only team that didn't play Minnesota. Not once, but most played them twice. We'll be the only team that didn't play the full amount of games, us and Minnesota. And so then I guess it goes by percentage. But you know what? If we would have won Saturday, we could have helped ourselves. So I don't blame anybody on that. I'm just disappointed that there weren't more options available. But maybe there wasn't able to be. So maybe it's nobody's fault, just bad luck for Michigan State and Minnesota. And we move forward. It is what it is, and that's the way it works.
Is that a point of pride for you the last 2 years playing all 20?
Yeah, that's why I did it that year when we were dead, and got my backside kicked. Getting really proper for TV now, so I got the other side of me kicked 3 games in a row. But it is pride for me. You know what? I love Michigan State, but I love this conference second on the list, and I think you try to do what you can do. But I think people tried to do it. Maybe the Big Ten office tried to do it. Just didn't feel like there was the communication there needed to be, and that's a little disappointing. But maybe it's nobody's fault because of the way everything happened. Nobody's fault at all. Anything else, guys? So I finally made an announcement that they were supposed to make.
They're making them today. I mean, I don't know. I don't know when.
It's Monday. All right. I gotta go to a funeral, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
You guys travel safe.
Take care.
Those that are going out there.